Oh, this is scary. Why is this a thing? It's been like pee and rain all day. It just keeps raining and raining and raining. But it's not gonna rain on our parade today because we're starting the STI. So excited. So what we're gonna have to set fuel pressure on the car. So when it comes to setting the fuel pressure, I'm gonna be very quick and I'm not gonna be walking through what I'm doing because I need to get the fuel pressure set fairly precise and I want to do it quickly so that way the car isn't struggling to run. So let me actually, hold up, one sec. So we're gonna be loading the base, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back, appreciate the time. You guys know the spiel, I'm excited, let's do this. So I have the base map on my laptop over there. We're gonna have to pull it up into Accessport Manager, load it onto the Accessport, load that base map onto the car. So we're gonna reflash the car to do so. Once the car is reflashed, we're gonna go ahead and start it. Once it's started, I'm going to run out. I'm going to set fuel pressure very quickly, or as quick as I can, because I'm gonna be looking at the Accessport to set that fuel pressure. So I'm pretty stoked for that. We are gonna be setting the fuel pressure unmetered. So that means we're gonna pull off the vacuum line on the fuel pressure regulator, set it to 43 PSI, and then put that vacuum hose back on. So I wanna walk through this with you guys first before I'm running around doing it and you guys see me doing it. So on the front of the fuel pressure regulator right there, that nut is how you adjust fuel pressure. The one behind it is the locking nut to make sure that it doesn't move. So I'm gonna be running back and forth from up here to the Accessport, back and forth, making sure that fuel pressure is going to be set. Like I said, we're gonna be setting fuel pressure to 43 PSI unmetered. So let me grab the Accessport out of the Subaru. Let me hook it up to my laptop over here. Once everything is hooked up, I will show you guys how to load maps onto the Accessport. So if you have to do this at home, load up your base map or load up a different map that you want to, you know how to. It's really quick and easy process. So let me grab it out of the Subaru. We'll hop over to the laptop and I'll show you guys what you need to do. So when you're doing this, you're gonna need the Accessport. You're also gonna need the cable that comes with it. So I'm just gonna plug the dongle right into my laptop and then plug it into the Accessport. So right on the side of the Accessport, you will have a small little dongle that you'll plug that guy into. Set the Accessport aside. Accessport will power up. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the tune out from my email. Okay, now I've got the tune pulled up. It's called Tanner Smith Base Map V1. So I'm gonna go ahead, open up Accessport Manager. Okay, so you have to pull up the Accessport Manager prior to plugging in the Accessport. So go ahead, open up Accessport Manager and then plug in the Accessport. My bad on that one. So I'm gonna let it go ahead, save all of the factory ECU stuff. It's there. So now I'm going to go ahead, I'm gonna drag in the new map and drop it. Confirm file copy. Are you sure you want to copy this file? Yes. So we now have our new base map right here. So Surgeline LLC sub004. So this will have everything in here for the description. It says base map, FP blue, SF intake with airbox, ETS front mount, 1050 injectors. That says Cobb fuel pressure regulator kit. So I need to talk to them about that one. Cobb fuel pressure sensor, Grim speed up pipe, Cobb EBCS, catted, viscosity, speed density, IAG AOS, rev limiter 5000, boost cut 10 PSI. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna call Surgeline next week and let them know that I'm not using the Cobb fuel pressure regulator. I did tell them that I was using the Aeromotive, but that never got updated, but that's all right. We're gonna run with it anyways. We're gonna set fuel pressure to 43 PSI and we should still be good. So now that we have this in here, I'm also gonna see if there's any updates for the Accessport, which there is not that I can see. Oh, there is. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna let the Accessport update then, begin firmware update and let it do its thing. While it updates, I am going to chill out for a minute. All right. Accessport just got done updating. We're gonna go ahead and hit OK. Let it finish its thing. So our base map is now on the Accessport. I'm gonna go ahead and hit eject Accessport. And let's hook this thing up to the car and put the tune on it. God, I'm so nervous. Get you plugged back in. Come on, come on, come on. Impossible to do one-handed. Hold up. All right, our Accessport's plugged in. I am so nervous right now. So we're gonna put the car in accessory mode. So let's go down to tune Let's go change ECU map. Where is our bass tune? All right, we're gonna go ECU reflash, Tanner Smith bass map V1. Okay. Hello, Blackview. All right, here we go. Everything's gonna freak out on the dash. Like it's not already. Please wait while the access port initializes communications. Oh my God, I have no gas. Oh no. It's just doing its thing. It's totally normal. Dude, that's like a terrifying sight right there. Check owner's manual. Not happy. Nothing happy. Do not turn off vehicle or unplug the access port. Don't do it. Don't do it. Bad things will happen. Noises are happening. Please turn and leave off the ignition to the off. All right, ignition is off. Continue. It's doing its thing. Please turn the ignition key to the on position. Continue. Resetting ECU learning and complete. Turn off the ignition for at least 15 seconds. Okay. And goodbye. Oh God, now comes the terrifying part of starting it. I'm excited and terrified at the same time to start this thing. So I've got fuel pressure set up here on the top right, so that way I can watch fuel pressure as I'm changing it. I'm actually gonna move the access port up on the dash so that way I can see it a little bit better. God, all right, let me get this camera set up and let's start the car. I'm actually terrified right now. I know I shouldn't be terrified, but this is a pretty scary moment. If anything's going to go wrong with the car, it's gonna be now. Like, it's gonna happen now. Woo! All right, let me get the camera set up. Let's get the car started. Okay, all right. Let's prime the fuel system a couple times. Pump the gas a little bit. Round 2. Okay, all right, that was a good start. All right, attempt number 3. Oh, this is scary. So I'm gonna let it run for a little bit. AFRs are looking good. Everything over here is looking good right now. I can't set fuel pressure until I get the revised tune. But oh my God, it started and there's no check engine lights. It sounds so good. It sounds so good! So everything is reading awesome on the Accessport right now. I can't pull fuel pressure right now because I need Chris to set the signal for the fuel pressure sensor, but oh my God, it's running! Oh, it smells really bad because it's been sitting for a while and we have a lot of new exhaust parts, but no check engine lights and it sounds so good! Oh! That's all I'm doing right now, but oh! So air fuel, I'm gonna let it warm up fully. Air fuel ratio is sitting at about 15 right now. I'm gonna go ahead and shut the car off in about 2 or 3 minutes. I'm gonna continue to monitor it and then we'll shut it off and we'll keep talking, but oh boy! I'm so excited. I am so jazzed right now, you have no idea. So now that we know the car runs and it runs at a good AFR at idle, which is all I care about right now. I need to burp the cooling system on this car. Yeah, I know I need the special funnel. You guys tell me every time. I will get it at some point, just not today. Maybe I don't know, I might order it on Amazon later. It seems like I do a lot of stuff with coolant. Maybe I should just order the damn funnel. Regardless, I'm gonna get the car started again. We're gonna let it run. We're just gonna let it idle. We're not gonna get on it or anything like that. I need to get this coolant system burped because we did lose a significant amount of coolant as I was pulling lines off the car and whatnot. So I'm gonna get that going. I've burped cars so many times, I'm not gonna walk you guys through the process. If you need to learn how to burp a car, go back to literally any video I've done with a radiator, air oil separate, anything coolant related. So let me get this burped real quick. We'll keep going through and oh my God, I'm so excited. So I just spent about an hour burping the car. There was a lot of air built up in the system. So we got all of the air bubbles out. Like I said, it took about 45 minutes to an hour to get it all out. Heat all the way blast, up the defroster, revved it a couple times to be able to get any air bubbles that were trapped in the system out. So the car is fully burped. Since we did that oil change yesterday, I need to go ahead, I need to pull the dipstick, I need to let the oil settle. Now that we've got oil circulating around the car, we can actually check the oil level of it. So I have another quart of that 8100 X-Clean EFE. So generally the oil checking process for these cars is you let it run for about 5-10 minutes, get it up to operating temp, so that way oil is able to circulate through all of the passages, all of the channels in the engine. So, and then once everything kind of settles down a little bit, pull the dipstick, check it, make sure it's good. So since I have the Killer Bee oil pan on the car, my car takes 5.5 quarts of oil instead of 4.5. So let's check in like 2 minutes, see what it comes back at. Also, after the car got a lot of the air bubbles out of the system, it ran a lot smoother. So if you're doing a lot of major upgrades like this, or you're swapping out a lot of parts, go ahead and get that coolant system burped. It's really important that you do so because you don't want any air bubbles trapped in the system. It also helps the car run a little bit smoother, so make sure that you guys are doing that if you are going through here. If you did lose any fluids in any of your installation process, make sure you're going back through and you're replacing those fluids. You don't want to run the car dry. You don't want to do any damage to it, especially before going to a tuner. Just make sure the car is all good and dandy. So like I said, once the oil has a chance to chill out, we'll get it checked. We'll make sure that everything is good to go on the oil, because the only fluids that we lost when we were going through here was a lot of coolant. Let me tell you, a lot of coolant came out of this car when I pulled that old turbo off and disconnected a lot of the radiator, like these radiator hoses up here for this upper coolant reservoir. A lot of coolant came out. So make sure you are replacing those fluids. So how are we looking on oil? Not too shabby. It's actually exactly where it's supposed to be. I don't know if it's gonna be able to focus on something this thin. Man, autofocus is breaking my balls right now. So oil is actually pretty much right where it's supposed to be. I'm gonna throw in maybe 1/10 of a quart and call it good, but overall pretty happy with it. You're sitting on top of the STI, by the way. Well, the camera is sitting on top of the STI, but essentially you're sitting on top of the STI. We're still not... Jesus, that's a big mosquito eater. Get away from... Get out of here! Go eat mosquitoes! That's a big dude. So we're still not done with the build on the STI. I still have a couple more parts coming. We have that mini half battery going in the car just to save some room around the charge piping for the cold side of the intercooler. It's really gonna help free it up. We still need to set fuel pressure on the car, but I need Chris, our tuner, down at Surgeline. Super awesome dude, super helpful and really cool. I need to set the TGV parameters for which power outlet the fuel pressure sensor and the flex fuel sensor are going to, so that way I can actually set fuel pressure in the car, because right now it's not pulling anything up because the fuel pressure sensor isn't reading anything. So we still need to set fuel pressure. We need to go do a test drive on the car also, but I can't do that till I set fuel pressure. So today is Saturday. Surgeline opens back up. Well, it's Saturday for me. I don't know when this video is going live because I am doing daily uploads now, so the schedule, I'm still figuring it out. So they open back up Tuesday. I think I can get the tune revision Wednesday, but this is a huge, huge, huge milestone for us because we just verified everything on the engine is running as it should. The car is operating at a normal rate as well. Even without setting the fuel pressure, it's still monitoring it out to 14.7. Well, it was ranging between 14.2 and 15.2 on AFR, just sitting at idle, but that is really good for not setting any fuel pressure, just throwing everything in the car, turning it on and letting it run. Now, it was a little difficult to get the car started on the first 2 or 3 goes, I guess you could call it. It didn't want to start. At one point it started, it died, it started, it died. It needed to build a little bit more oil pressure in the system, which it did on those starts. So on one of them we did get that, as you heard, that little blah, 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 and then it died again. The first time was just whap, 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 whap. I think that was the noise it made. And then on the 3rd or 4th go, it finally started. It started very rough. A couple of contributing factors is the ECU needed to relearn all the parameters of everything we just did to the car with the base map. The coolant system needed to be burped to get all of the air out of there because it definitely was not happy, and there was a ton of air bubbles trapped in the system that we had to get out. Because remember, we swapped the turbo, coolant runs through the turbo, so there was probably a lot of air built up in there. Get away from me, mosquito. As well as some of the other coolant jackets that we pulled coolant lines off of, and more air got into the system. But regardless, make sure, like I said, you are going through, you are swapping out those fluids if this is something that you guys are venturing to do here soon, because I know I've talked to some of you guys and you guys are also about to go on some build adventures, which I am very excited for you guys. I also wanted to announce the next build. Well, it's the BRZ. We all knew it was the BRZ, but I have made a decision on what we're doing with the BRZ, and in T-minus 32 days, we're going to be starting on the BRZ build. We are going to be doing the MA Performance Turbocharger kit on the BRZ. Once again, curious to see how far we can push the stock block. So I got another offer accepted on the house, thankfully. So I'm going to be pulling a little bit of money that I'm making from the house, and I'm going to be pushing it into the BRZ. I've always wanted a turbocharged BRZ, so we are going to be doing that next. I also plan on flaring the STI coming up soon, as well as doing some interior renovations. I guess you could call it a renovation because I'm renovating the interior of this car. So we are going to be renovating the interior of the STI, flaring the STI, and turbocharging the BRZ. So there is a lot of good stuff coming to the channel here soon. Which leads me straight into my next point. That is going to wrap this video up. That's about all we can do tonight. We got the cooling system taken care of. We got the car started. We got it fully filled up with oil now. It is good to go. I can't do anything else, like I said, until I get that tune revision from Chris, but we're gonna end it here. So if you like the video, go ahead, hit that little thumbs up and turn it blue like the Subaru. Ooh. I'm sorry, I'm still pumped. I'm still so excited. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, which I would really appreciate it if you were, and we got all that cool stuff coming up on the channel. We got the flaring of the STI, we're renovating the interior of it, we're turbocharging the BRZ. Why would you want to miss out on any of that? Mind noodle blown. My noodle's blown. But if you want to be subscribed to the channel, which remember, it's free, you can do it at any time. You can also unsubscribe at any time if you want. I mean, I'd prefer if you didn't, but if you do, I hate to see you go. Baby, come back. But let's do it down here in this corner, down that way, this direction. Just subscribe down here if you want to. And with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, homies.